With banks giving out low interest rate loans, the housing market was once at a boom until people were unable to pay off their loans. At this point, banks stopped giving out loans, which led to foreclosures and the bust of the housing market. The financial crisis has had many consequences, one of them being on the housing market. As citizens of the USA, the consequences on the people are unfair, and today we will be assessing these consequences. Since the housing market was going downhill, they started to make and sell new homes for very little money, creating a glut of houses and a drop in prices. This was a problem because people who were trying to sell their homes were forced to compete with the market. The value of their homes dropped greatly because of the already low prices of the new homes, and they essentially lost a lot of money in trying to sell their home. The drop in prices of new homes made it difficult to sell used homes. This became a problem because if people could not sell their old homes, then they could not buy new homes from realtors. Thus, there was a lack of monetary circulation between the housing market, the banks, and the people. Essentially, the low, middle, and upper class Americans were stuck and the housing market was put at a standstill. Another major consequence of the housing market on the people was that because the housing market crashed and people could not sell their houses, those unable to pay off their loans on their current homes were essentially trapped. Not only could they not sell, but they also could not downgrade to a cheaper home due to their lack of money. Many of these people were forced to leave their homes, and their property would then be owned by banks. Another way in which the fall of the housing market impacted the people was by fundamentally taking money out of the hands of homeowners. Let's take a look at the circumstances of the average American adult's home ownership issues. The average American adult was somehow affected by the financial crisis. Whether it was the rise in gas prices or boost in food prices, the crisis affected all taxpayers. Because they were already put on a tight budget, they were unable to sell their homes due to the significant decrease in the value of their homes because of the housing market crisis. Until people started taking the risk of buying a new home while still having their old home on the market to be sold, our housing market would be on hold. The combination of the realtors trying to make as much money as possible and the people trying to save as much money as possible left the people of America with little money and lowered their income due to the falling economy. Another consequence of the crash of the housing market is a decrease in the employment rate. There are many various types of workers that work in the housing industry, directly and indirectly. These include realtors, contractors, construction workers, electricians, carpenters, concrete workers, and more. With so many new houses already on the market, more were not needed, and thus the workers were not needed. When the housing market failed, a considerably large number of these workers were laid off. More than 70% of the Stern law firm was laid off, and millions of other Americans were left unemployed because of the lack of need for more new homes. Unemployment rate was increased by 10%, and this does not account for the millions who received a reduced pay rate. The consequences of the housing market on the people of the U.S. comes down to the three main consequences. The people were unable to buy homes, unable to sell homes, and were left unemployed. After all, our economy, the housing market, and the politics behind it all is nothing but a game, so play it well.